Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to class today. Thank you for joining me, whether you are watching live or you're watching the recording. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you taking a little bit of ownership of your education, watching these videos, and I hope they're useful to you. Today, this one's going to be a little bit short, right? Because we're just going to go through and we are going to just kind of go through in a little more depth the kind of stuff that's in the orientation video in the Begin Here module. We'll talk about a few things throughout the course of this. I don't expect this to take any longer than about 20 to 30 minutes today for our first live stream. In fact, let me turn up my mic just a little bit here. Turn up my mic just a little bit. I did get my new setup over the summer. Got it set up here. If you stop by my office, you can see it. Pretty nice little setup that we got going. For those of you who are taking classes with me, especially toward the end of the spring, you'll know that my old computer was on its last legs. Now I got a really nice one, so we should be good for the semester. But for those of you who I'm seeing for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are returning and you're back, welcome back. I'm looking forward to a great semester, and I hope you are as well. Let me just switch this over to the full screen view here so we can all see this just a little bit better as we're going through. I haven't installed my Zoom software yet, so we're just going to have to do the best we can today. But when you log into the course, as you all should have already seen, you'd land here on the announcements page, right, like I showed you in the announcements. And many of you are second year, so you'd already know this. If that's collapsed, you can just expand it back out by hovering your mouse over the edge of the screen. You'll get that little arrow there, and it'll expand the menu back out. And we're talking about the Begin Here module today, and we're just covering things pretty quickly today. So I'm just going to go through and talk about everything in just a little bit more depth. So I'm going to go ahead and click that Begin Here module for us to get started. Before I get into any of this, let me just talk a little bit about why I choose to do my live classes this way through YouTube. And there are several reasons that I do it. One is that YouTube is a platform that people go to learn new things, right? I was reading a study not that long ago that said 80% of people, when they go to learn something new, are going to YouTube to learn that new thing. And so what I like to do is I like to do things through YouTube. Since you're going to YouTube to learn things anyway, it's just sort of a platform understanding. I'm kind of going to you all where you are in terms of where you're going to look for things and that sort of stuff, right? So YouTube, everybody goes there to learn stuff already. Two is that it's low pressure. Right, you don't have to worry about whether or not your mic's muted or if your camera's on like you would in a Zoom session or a Teams meeting. But you can still communicate with me through the chat box. So if you want to, you can send a question or a comment through a chat. If you send a chat, I will see it. I might not see it right away. It might be a few beats behind. But I will see it because I do monitor that. So that would be there for me to see if you have a question or anything like that. And then it saves a copy of it, so I don't have to worry about uploading it anywhere. It's automatically saved. I'm also saving another stream of this just to where I can have a backup. But we have the YouTube feed as our primary. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our Begin Here module. The first thing I'm going to point to is this orientation video. I record these orientation videos special every semester. So this one is a brand newly developed orientation video. This is here. I recommend you all give this a watch. It's going to go through the things that I'm going through today really quickly. So if you forget something, if you're wondering where something is, something like that, there's always the orientation video here for you to kind of go through just to remember. And so as we're navigating through, we can choose to navigate through the table of contents here. We have, we can just click on these links directly here in the table of contents. You can click this arrow key here that's to the top of the table of contents to go back and forth between different items, or there are arrow keys over here on the right-hand side. So I put it in these types of modules specifically with the idea of being able to kind of guide you through the process. So as you're going through and reading and watching videos, you go through one item at a time until you get to the end. So this is DBA 110, Database Concepts. This is the course where we talk about databases. We use a database management system to manage databases throughout the semester. And we cover a lot of stuff between now and then, even though it doesn't look like we cover a whole bunch of stuff based on how many modules we have in the course. Right? We have 5 modules plus a final project, plus this Begin Here module. But that's going to make out our entire 14 weeks. Right? So we're going to spend a week covering Begin Here. We're going to spend a week in Module 1. Modules 2 through 5, I'll get 2 weeks apiece. And then, you get some time to do your final project at the end there. You get a couple weeks there. And there's different things here and there throughout the course. We'll look at the schedule of the course here in just a few minutes. The first thing that you need to do, if you haven't done it yet, is to complete the enrollment verification activity. I need that by September the 6th. This is, most of you, I think, have already done these before. Some of you have already turned this in for this class, for this semester. This verifies your enrollment. If I click to launch here, it'll take me to the page where I can open my quiz. I can click begin, and it gives you the question. By selecting yes, I verify that I am enrolled as an active participant in this class for this semester. And all submissions for assignments and tests will be on my own, in compliance with Cleveland Community College policies governing academic integrity. By selecting no here, it tells you that you understand that you will be withdrawn from the course. Also, by failing to submit this activity, you will be withdrawn from the course. So if you select no, or if you don't do this at all by September the 6th, I withdraw you from the course. Just go in here. If you want to stay in the course and you're good, select yes, and everything will be fine for the semester. That's your EVA. That's the thing you're going to do first thing. We have this getting started information here. I'm not going to read it all out to you, but it does give you information about where to find your syllabus, where to find my contact information, how to get tutoring, how to communicate with me, right? I do email, so there is that. How to submit assignments, how to find your grades, all that kind of fun stuff. If you don't know about any of that, this is just here for your knowledge, so you can take advantage of this. No big deal, right? Most of you probably already got an understanding of all of this, so there's no real issues here. This is our syllabus. So we've got our syllabus document here. I've taken the important things out of the syllabus document and I've put them into this Begin Here module. So if you need things in a hurry, you can just go to the Begin Here module and figure them out. Right, so we have my information here, including my office hours. So you can see my office hours. This is times when I'll be available to you. If you've got questions, I'm definitely going to be in my office or in somewhere where you can find me. And available to you during that time. It's 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Wednesday. On Thursday, that is our study hall day. 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is for all of my courses. If you want to see me, I will be in Paxoy room 3200, which is the classroom. If any of you have had live classes here before, it's the big classroom that I use in the Paxoy building. I'll just be kind of hanging out, chilling in there all day, waiting on you all to kind of stop by, or I'll also be monitoring Teams. if you have questions on Teams for that. So that is our Thursday student hours / study hall time. That's for all of my classes. So if you've got questions about this class, you got questions about any other classes that you might have with me, or whatever, you can come by and see me on that day in room 3200 in Paxoy. One-on-one help, questions, whatever you got. That's also our due date day, right? So that's why I did that on Thursdays. Course description. This course introduces database design and creation using DBMS products. The DBMS stands for Database Management System. We'll talk about that more in Module 1, what that means. For the purposes of this course, we'll be using a DBMS product called MySQL Workbench, which you'll be installing that and getting that ready in Module 2. Emphasis is placed on data dictionaries, normalization, data integrity, data modeling, and creation of simple tables, queries, reports, and forms. Upon completion, students should be able to design and implement normalized database structures by creating simple database tables, queries, reports, and forms. No other prerequisites for this course. There's no textbook material required. Everything that you'll need to read or watch is located in this Blackboard course. All the readings are linked out or in line in the Blackboard course. Any videos are in the Blackboard course, aside from our weekly live class, live session class. I won't read a lot of this to you. I'll let you read kind of the boilerplate over for yourself. These are SLOs. These are the things that I want you to be able to know or do by the end of the semester. One is to recognize the basic concepts of the analysis and design of a database. 2 is to solve database problems using MySQL by applying MySQL to create, insert, update, and retrieve data from a database. Design a basic database solution using the MySQL database management system, which in our case, again, is going to be MySQL Workbench. And we are going to implement a basic database solution using MySQL. Sounds pretty wild right now. It's pretty easy. We'll get there throughout the course. You can see your course here. The course here has 3 different grade types in it. There's a homework, there's a projects, and then there's a final project. So homework are your general assignments. Any assignment that is a general assignment is a homework assignment. So this would be your quiz in Module 1, the smaller assignments in Modules 2, 3, and 4, and then the bigger assignments in your modules are projects. And so you'll know which ones are projects because they will be stated as projects. Everything that's not stated as a project will count as homework. Your final project, which we'll talk more about here in just a little bit, is worth 15% of your total grade. In that project, you'll prove to me that you know how to do basically everything when it comes to dealing with a database. The course schedule is here. This is when everything is assigned and when everything is due. There are some weeks we won't have live stream classes. For example, next week is one of them, although it's only a week-long module then. So next week I will have a pre-recorded video up in place of our regular live stream. Since next Monday is the Labor Day holiday and the college is closed, I will pre-record a video and have it available for you during our live stream time next Monday. But you can see here, Module 2 takes a couple weeks. I like to give you a couple weeks for that module just to make sure that you're not having any issues installing the software and doing everything you need to do there. Module 3 takes a while, takes a few weeks. Module 4 takes a few weeks. Module 5 takes a few weeks. And then your final project, you get 12 days. on your own to work on your final project. So while we're talking about our final project here, let's talk about our final project in a little more depth. We got module final project over here on the left-hand side. If I click that, we'll see our final project here. Our final project is a singular assignment, and it's a larger assignment. And you're just going to be creating a database based on one of your own interests. And so you can create a database about whatever you want to create it about. The only requirement is that I need 20 records in your database with at least 5 entities for each record. And I need this data normalized, which you don't know what that means now, but you will by the time we get to this point. And I'm requesting it to be in third normal form. So one of the things that you need to think about with this project that you need to start thinking about right now, right? You can't do a ton of it right now because you don't know a lot of the skills that you need to know to be able to do it. But in the future, you'll need data for this database. Right? So you probably want to start thinking right now, like as soon as possible, about what kind of data you want to put in this database. What you want this to contain. And then later on, as we learn the different topics, you can learn how to create the database, how to normalize the database, all that kind of fun stuff. I will be adding some stuff to this project as we go along. It's not quite complete. I want to add some videos here that show you more about saving the stuff. But since you don't have to do this until later on in the semester, we got ourselves a little bit of time here. I didn't initially build this course, so I kind of tweak it along the way as much as I can to try to make it better. So we will we'll add some more stuff to this. No more requirements, but just like more explanatory stuff to the final project here within the next couple of weeks, just to help explain things a little bit better on what you need to do. And you know, you wouldn't need it until December the 2nd anyway, right? So everything's going to be okay. But you're going to be creating your own database based on whatever you want to create it on. You want to get your own data. No need to stress about the final, Matthew. It's all good. It's going to be easy peasy by the time we get to it. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to get you through it. So back over here to our syllabus. Everything else is here for you to read. Most of this stuff is stuff that you know about already, right? So we can just kind of gloss over all of that. Here's my information in an easy to find little thing here. It's got, I put, again, I take all the important stuff, pull it out of the syllabus, put it in this Begin Here module. My name, my email address, my office phone number, my office location, my student hours, which we already mentioned, and some of my response policies here. All for you all to have easy access to all of this stuff. If you've never used Teams before, which I was looking at the roster, and I think everybody in this class has Teams on lock, this video here helps walk you through how to use Teams. So if you want to contact me with Teams, which is pretty nice, you can use that. No problem, right? I usually say email and Teams are the best ways to contact me because they're the things that I have around me most often, right? I might be in class, I might be in a meeting. You can always send an email or a Teams message, and I'll get it as soon as possible. There's a likelihood I might not be in the office if you call, so there's that to consider. Just some frequently asked questions here. These are things about my policies. For example, I try to grade assignments within 7 days. of the assignment due date. So if you submit early, it's going to sit in there for a while. That's just for academic integrity purposes, right? Like if it goes, if I grade things early and you all get your hands on them, you can see the correct answers and know the things that you need to do. And not saying that anybody would, but you could pass those around to your classmates, hypothetically, right? So that's why I wait until the due date to do the assignments. If you miss a deadline for whatever reason, I don't take late work. So even if you turn it in and you miss a deadline, I'm not going to grade it. If you discuss things with me, right, and you let me know, hey, I ran into this issue, or I was doing this, or I needed more time, let me know that before the due date. I'm usually pretty good about giving extensions. No worries. Right? I can kind of relate it to the real world. If you've got your boss comes and tells you, hey, I'd like this project completed by this date. You say, okay, date comes and goes and the project's not done, and you haven't said anything to them. You're probably going to get in a little bit of trouble, right? But if you go to them before they need it and you say, hey, we've been running into an issue. We had this issue and this issue. Can we get an extension, maybe another week on this project? They're usually much more amicable about that. So there is that. And the rest of these frequently asked questions are here for you to read when you have time. Pacing guides right here. This is the same pacing guide that's in the syllabus. You can create a little shortcut link to this. You can take a screenshot of this, whatever you need to do. I'm going to try to put these dates in some other places just to kind of help you all out a little bit. I usually limit where I have my dates just because, if something has to change and we have to switch around dates, then I have to go switch them in every place I have them. So it might get confusing if I have them in a bunch of different places, but I'm going to try to get them, as visible as possible for you all. But I put them in the pacing guide here, so, there's always this pacing guide in the beginning here if you need it. And everything is due by noon on the last day of class for your final projects, just so I can get grades in on time. Live online class, that's what this is right now, so we won't really go into that. This is just some netiquette and other communication policy information. Let you read that whenever you get a moment. Information on submitting assignments to Blackboard. If you don't have any experience with that, I think you all do. So we'll skip over that. Succeeding in online courses. This is just a little reading thing here that you can go through if you want to, get some more information about how to do things in online courses. One of the things that I like a little bit better is this online readiness quiz here at ruonlineready.com. This was actually a thing that I built. I built this myself, and it's just a little online readiness quiz where you can fill things out. Take the quiz and it gives you a score and some suggestions on some things to do to make you a more prepared online student. So if I just kind of answered some of these out really quickly. Just really, really quickly here. You can see what I'm talking about. You just go through and answer these honestly. Like, I'm not going to get your results. This is all client side here. So any information that you put in and any information that you get back out does not get any further than your browser. So you can answer these honestly to get some good suggestions on what to do. Submit gives you a little score, gives you some suggestions on some things to do based on the answers that you give. It's pretty cool. And if you print results, it should save it as a PDF, which is pretty cool. So that's there for you too if you want to have a look at that. Again, that's not a requirement. Don't need you to do that. That's just if you want to do that and get the tips. It's all good. Information about a discussion board. I don't really use a discussion board in this class that much. There's not a whole lot of opportunities to use it. I think the only time I use a discussion board is for this right here, which is your introduction discussion board. Just because you're in an online class doesn't mean you get away from having to introduce yourselves. So make sure to do this if you haven't yet. And, of course, the orientation quiz, which I accidentally uploaded somebody else's orientation quiz to this at first. So I've already had to change this, and you've already gotten a message about that. So the one that's in there now should be good to take. And really, that's all that I have for you for today. So normally what I do at this point in these lessons is I will turn the music back on. If anybody has any questions, they can ask in the chat, and I will get your questions answered. Well, I'll turn the music back on, hang out for a few minutes, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. But that's all that I have for you for today. Make sure you get all this done by September the 1st. If you don't get it done by September the 1st, you have until the 6th to get that EVA done. But you want to get that EVA done as soon as possible. So that's all that I have for you for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.